Yo guys, what is going on? My name is Falbot, and this is the third attempt of me recording this video, which is getting kind of annoying, but let's pretend this is the first for the sake of the video. Video quality corrupted. Anyway, today we are going to be going over 5 things that I personally like and dislike about France. Now, as some of you may know, I am currently studying in France as an exchange student. I've been here for about a month and a half now. And I'm going to be here for the next 6.5 months as well. So that's 8 months in total. That's like a full year for university. So yeah, I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of what the country's like. So I figured, why not just let some of you guys know what the place is like? You guys say, or if you're European, you can like catch a super cheap flight over. Anyway, I'm rambling. We're a minute in already, so let's just get started with the first thing that I dislike about France, and that is smoking. People in France smoke like chimneys, and it is. I don't like smoking. I feel like that's quite a popular opinion in the North American populace.
Bonjour, voulez-vous une cigarette? Non merci, je ne fume pas. Euh, ça va? Ça va?
But in Europe, smoking is a bit different, actually. Smoking isn't seen so much as like this dumb thing people do because they can't control themselves or something. It's actually seen as more like a fashionable thing, like you smoke, ooh la la, je suis French, oui oui oui, or something. People will offer you cigarettes even if you're just walking by them, which is, I guess, it's nice. It builds a sense of community, but I don't smoke, and a lot of exchange students don't smoke either. But I guess the people in France just think that everyone smokes. It's just like a normal thing. So now we're going to move on to the thing that I like about France, and I guess one thing that always comes to people's mind is the French food. French cuisine is some of the best I've ever had in the world. Now, I might actually make a video on this in the future about French food specifically. But really, what I'm trying to say is French food is really, really good. I have to cough there. Yeah, French food is really, really good, and it actually goes beyond just croissants and baguettes and snails, which, by the way, are actually pretty good. I'm gonna stand by the French eating snails and say yes, snails are tasty. Snails are a good treat, and if you have the chance, you should absolutely try them because they are actually really good. But yeah, other things that French people like, which I thought was surprising at first, is they really like the combination of ham and cheese. There's this one dish that's really, really popular called a croque monsieur, which directly translates to a French mister, which I know doesn't really make sense, but yeah, we'll pretend that that's normal. It's essentially just the French twist on the grilled cheese, where they slap a ham inside and they add a little bit more butter. I think. I can't tell. Maybe just the one I had a lot of butter, but yeah. French food is really good, and that is one of the best things about the country. Okay, and now we're going to go on to the second thing that I dislike about the country, and that is going to have to be the language. Now, look, the language, it's a nice language, it's beautiful, and ooh la la, je suis un arabe, oui, oui, oui. It's, people think French sounds nice, and you know what? It does sound nice, I will give them that, but if you're an English speaker, people are going to give you a hard time. The French famously hate the Anglosphere for some reason. I guess they don't like English encroachment on their culture. Like, there are a lot of English words in France, I will admit. But I don't know. It just they are very mean. Now on to the second thing that I like about France, and that is the language. Now I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, Falbot. The second thing you hate about France is also language. And yeah, you would be correct. Well, that's very astute of you. I am cheating a bit here, but contrary to what I said before, the French people are actually willing to speak English, but there's a catch. You have to attempt to speak French with them at first. As a personal anecdote, I was going to open a bank account in France because that's very important for a number of things. And I was trying to like talk in all these like English or this banking lingo like interest rates and fees and stuff. And I guess the banker knew that I was struggling with that, so she just said that you can speak English if you want, and that just made things so much easier. I actually felt welcome as a English foreigner, or not, I'm not English, but as an English speaking foreigner. And yeah, I just feel like the people are friendly. So moving on to the thing I hate, or the third thing I hate, I guess, and this is just a small complaint, I will admit, but have you seen French pillows? Like, what the heck is going on? It's like they're long and they're thin and they're flat and they don't help you sleep. I mean, they don't work. I have resorted to using a flat chair cushion to sleep. It's just horrible. It's like a really thick snake, but it's not actually thick. It's like a snake that you stick your head on, and I guess it's meant to be shared with another person. But if you live alone, you just have to use a long snake as a pillow. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense, and yeah, that is something I don't like. So, moving on from that, the third thing that I like about France is that people are actually very friendly and they are very respectful. The catch with that is you have to speak French, of course, right? We all know how the French people are with English speakers. They will say goodbye to you, they will smile, they'll treat you with respect. Even children and teenagers, which really surprised me, they will address me with the vous greeting. Now, for those of you who don't know, the French actually have two ways of saying you. They have the tu and the vous. Now, the tu is more like informal, so it's like you'd say that to a friend or like a young child or something, whereas vous is more formal, it's more respectful, so you say it to like someone you don't know, maybe your boss or your professor or your teacher or something. You would call them with the vous. And I was surprised actually to be people greeted me with vous. People call me vous. They call me like jeune homme as well. But anyway, I'm getting off track here. Um, Another thing that I notice about the friendliness is that when you're like at the grocery store or something and it's time for you to leave, you have to like exchange three or four greetings with the cashier just to get out of there. They'll say like "good day" except in French, and then they'll say "bye" but just in French, and then "bon appetit" in French. That is French. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is they will just like go back and forth with greetings like three, four times, and it I was confused at first when this first happened to me because they're like the cashier was like bye, so I said bye, and she said good day, so I was like oh good day, thank you, and she said you're welcome. And yeah, I don't know, I was very confused. Anyway, let's move on from that. The fourth thing that I don't like about France is that the whole country just shuts down on Sunday. I mean, like, what the heck, France? Restaurants and grocery stores and even my apartment, they just don't work on weekend. I mean, what if like a pipe bursts in my apartment or something? You're just gonna hope it doesn't get too bad until Monday. What if, or worse than a pipe bursting? What if I realize I don't have cheese on Sunday? I know my room doesn't have cheese. This is horrible. Oh no, being in France without cheese, it's horrible. But anyway, yeah, really, just everything shuts down on Sunday. There's no groceries. You can't go get food. Really, you're on your own. Um, you're on your own on Sunday, and I feel like if you're like a tourist in France or something, and you like avoid the touristy areas, good luck finding well anything because you're not going to be in luck. Actually, speaking of cheese, I bought some cheese. You know what? I'm just going to hijack this video and turn it into a cheese eating video. No one can stop me. Cough, cough. This is so. This is a Locto du, they call it. It's a French cheese from France. So let's see. I've got a slice of cheese there. Let's just eat it and see how it goes. I've actually had this before, but I'm gonna pretend I didn't. So let's see. Um, wow, this cheese is so good. Ooh la la, French cheese. What does this video become? I'm just sitting in front of my webcam, eating cheese, as you guys listen to me chew and complain about the country that I'm going to be living in for the next 6.5 months. Anyway, let's move on from that. So, the fourth thing I like about France is the lack of car dependence. Now, don't get me wrong, there are still a lot of cars in France, but I do notice a bigger emphasis on public transit. Like in Reims, which is the city I'm currently staying in, it's in like the northeastern part of France. Um, they have the most incredible tram and bus system I have ever seen. You can get from like the southern tip of the city and take one single tram all the way up to the northern city, right on the border with the neighboring city. Which, you know, little sneak peek on my next video. I'm just gonna finish this cheese. This is making it hard to eat. Give me a minute, guys. It's taking a while to swallow. It's like sticking to my teeth. I should just pause the recording, but meh. So as I was saying, Reims has an incredible bus and tram system. Like, you can get from the southern point to the northern point of the city. It's really incredible. And the bus system can get you literally anywhere in the city. And it can even get you into a few neighboring cities. Bethany, Sillery, Clermont-Troyes, Tinqueur. I butchered the pronunciations, so to all my French viewers, I apologize. But yeah, um, those are really, I guess the public transportation system is really, really good in France. So the last thing I hate, number 5, and this kind of ties into the lesser car dependence thing, because like I said, people still drive in France. They still use cars. There's still parking lots and all that. But oh my god, driving in France is terrifying. I've only gotten in a car 2 times for my stay in France, and they were both horrifying experience. People are driving like bumper to bumper, beeping at each other, ignoring stop signs, and like, oh my god, I'm just sitting there clutching under the car, hoping I don't die. It's terrifying. Not to mention being a pedestrian in France is some of the most dangerous things you can do. It's everyone jaywalks just like driving madness, and if you don't, then people yell at you like, "Why aren't you crossing the road? There's no car coming." And I'm like, "No, I don't want to get hit by a car. It's scary. People beep their horns, and I don't know. It's terrifying, and yeah. And the final thing that I like about the country, and the final thing on this list for that matter, is that the country is very accommodating to foreigners, even if I'm gonna restart that. Okay. And the final thing on this list, the 5th thing that I like, is that the country is actually very accommodating to foreigners. With the exception of Paris, of course. Paris is something snobby, something elitist. You know how it is. But yeah. Um, my university, just as an example, the French university I'm attending, they took care of my housing for the entire year. They helped me open a bank account. They helped me register for Social Security, which is super important. And they even helped me to apply for this housing allowance thing that gives me free money every single month. That is just incredible. It, it was a pretty good transition here into France, actually. And I mean, I've settled down perfectly fine. People are also very patient. If they can see that you're struggling to speak French, obviously, like I said, they'll offer to speak English, or they'll like be patient to let you work out it. They'll offer to help you with your French. At the grocery store, if they see you don't know how self-checkout works, which that's a whole side tangent, but I probably annoyed one guy that day. You know what? No, at the grocery store, I had to ask some guy for help with self-checkout like 5 times, and it was a real mess. But you know, the guy he smiled. He was just very nice. He was very helpful, and he didn't make me feel bad, so that's nice. So yeah, the country is very coming to foreigners, and they're willing to help people out. I guess because they have a lot of them. And well, there we go, guys. So thank you so much for watching this video. Do let me know what you think of this kind of video. Obviously, we are still in kind of that experimental phase of the channel where I don't really know what to do. So, as like a safe thing, I am just talking in front of my webcam. Wow, this is 17 minutes long. That's not good. That's a lot of recording time. But we're not going to watch a 17-minute video about a Canadian guy talk about his experience in France. Anyway, do let me know what you think of this video. You know, leave a like, leave a comment that you enjoyed. And you could subscribe too. If you haven't subscribed, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You want me to wink at the camera? This video isn't long, but whatever. Let me wink at the camera. Flirty. Anyway, I'm gonna stop being weird now. And you guys don't have to suffer through watching me speak to a webcam now. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, like, subscribe, comment what you think of the video, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.